And when the second queen finishes, you start mining gas again. So continue droning. These observers are being terribly critical of the play they're witnessing. Start your layer, mine from your second gas. Lots of drones. Continue injecting. And you're about to learn the hard way why it's important to keep a force outside of his base. Oh dear. So Zerglings don't do so hot against Zealots. Oh, there you go. This is a good thought. Threaten the counter to buy yourself time. You are supply blocked, and you need a Roach Warren. I love that, Paul, that you threatened that counter and it caused him to just pull back completely. Because if he had attacked you, you would have died. So, still need a Roach Warren, Paul.
Oh shit, I thought I put it down.
Nope. You got 4 guys in your second gas as well. There's the Roach Warren. And you're going to want Lings right now because you've just stalled. You have 24 coming, so you're going to be okay, I hope. You don't want your overlords out front, good. And there you see him. You gotta be really careful with these Zerglings. Keep them on hold position. You want to wait until the last possible second to engage this. Do not go up the ramp, Paul. What are you thinking? What is Force Field going to do to you right now? Ruin your day, that's what. Start your Roach Burrow and your Roach Speed. Mine from the third gas and your natural. You need a couple Overlords. And you're in a position right now where you need drones, but you can't really drone. So you have to kind of make roaches until Burrow finishes. You've got a lot of Zerglings there. You can split off like 12 of those and counter. Or you can surround that shit and try to fight. You want to back off if you're just fighting Zealots. Go take a poke at his natural. Lots of roaches need to be building right now. Oh yeah. Now if you can get half of these guys into his main, you're going to have a field day. Half of them, not all of them. Okay,
Oh.
all of them. That's fine. Into the mineral line, Paul, not the gateways. Back home you're making roaches. Kill those sentries. Just kind of run around, keep those Lings alive as long as you can. Meanwhile, you're just using your hotkeys to make Overlords and Roaches. Alright, if he lets you back down the ramp, then you go back down the ramp. Don't fight the Zealots, Paul!
I was back at my base, player.
You don't need to go back to your base to make shit.
Well, I did inject.
Okay, that's okay. I would have definitely tried to hit some more probes there. What do these Lings see?
Somehow I over-queened. That's the Rambo in me.
Alright, keep poking around. WTF, Paul, he's expanding right in your doorstep. I love these Ling attacks. These are so awesome. Hit some probes. You should be making as many roaches as you can. And Overlords. Alright, so let's we have our roach upgrades, so let's start poking up let's poke up into that third and deny it with the roaches. Like, you gotta go now, 2-prong this shit. Hit that third base. Oh, you're in such a good spot, Paul. I love what I'm seeing here, Paul. And you gotta continue producing roaches right now. And you force them to cancel that third, that's awesome. Look at there, there's sentries, free sentries, kill that shit. Alright, you can burrow the ones in the front. Dude, you don't need to run right now. Alright, now you see Immortals, so you gotta be careful. Alright, so Overlords and Roaches. You're doing great. I love the fact that you've been kind of 2-pronging a little bit, Paul. You're looking very solid. You have seen that he has double robo. So you know he's going to be cranking out some immortals. We're going to have to get some hydras, and you got to get a spire down as well. Somehow
Okay.
you managed to take a third in all of this excitement, which is great. This is oh, I don't know if I would have run from that, but alright, so just keep cranking out stuff. Meet up with your reinforcements in the natural. If you're not going to fight, then burrow and heal. Keep your creep spread going. And we have a lagger. So I'm going to take this second to talk a little bit about the drone situation.
Okay.
You mentioned at the beginning of this that you're hit or miss on the drones. Sometimes you have enough, sometimes you're way over, sometimes you're way under. Right now you have barely got enough drones to mine on your 2 bases. And you know it's kind of action-packed right now. So, okay, with these lings, I want you to hit this hard. Lings around the back, roaches from the front. Stay in his face. I think you're going to kill this entire army. Not if you keep running back and forth, Paul! You can be reinforcing this with Zerglings. Keep the pressure on. You need to just have Zerglings rallied into his natural. And you got to be injecting. You have lots of lings that aren't doing anything right outside your nat. Your macro's slipping a little bit because we're not injecting, but you got another hatchery going down. Paul, your play is looking very solid. And next up is Hydras. I would just rally into his natural. I think you can just keep the pressure on and lean on him. Maybe. Oh, no, you gotta run. Those immortals are too much. Alright, so fix your rally point. You gotta have it just right outside your nat now. Lots of Hydras. Keep injecting. Now, if you can manage to multitask this well, you need to be making drones at your 3rd base. And look at this shit. He's building a probe right there. You see that, right? Or building a pylon right there.
Yep.
Alright, so you have some Hydras that are about to pop out. You need to just deal with that with the Hydras. You have one Hydra that's about to be lost to bad rally point. Another Hydra about to be lost to bad rally point. Fix your rally points, Paul. Use your macro hatchery. You need a bunch of Hydralisks. The Hydras in your 3rd base need to go find the pylon that you know is there. That you know is there. The Hydras, not the Queen. Alright, there you go. You're going to want to use Transfuse with that Queen to keep your Hydras alive. Transfuse, 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 transfuse! Alright, kill the pylon. Alright, is our spire down? No. Alright. Make sure your macro hatchery doesn't have any rally points set, so your units are kind of getting split up. You got to have all your stuff together. You've played a beautiful game so far, Paul, but if we let him just kind of mass up and get too big, we will lose. Keep your injections going. The Hydras are awesome, but where are these drones going? You have 3 drones just marching out to nowhere. Alright, so what I'm trying to say is I need you to get aggressive again.
Okay.
We can't just take off. We can't just alleviate all pressure. We've kind of left him alone for far too long. So let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Alright, so there he reveals his Colossi. So go right into the natural with it. You're going to need Corruptors. You have your Spire finishing soon. And hit him. Hit him, hit him, hit him. Attack move. Oh, you're going to melt. Alright.
Yeah, it's terrible.
Yeah. Alright. So I think you're kind of screwed now. Seeing as you have no army. And we're in this position because you don't have enough drones. You don't have enough economy. So the way you clean up the mid game is by fixing your early game, because your early game was just too sloppy. You had I mean you didn't drone enough early. Your timings were a little off. You're supply blocking yourself. The way you fix your mid game is by playing the early game perfectly. I promise you.
Okay.
So I'm gonna host up another one.
So did I did I not drone enough then?
You did not drone enough in the early stages of the game. And if you listen to the show, you kind of hear me come back to this number sometimes. I say that we always want to have 44 drones when our layer finishes. Right?
Correct.
At the end of that game, we had like 40 drones, and that was, layer had been up for a while.
Yeah.
So we didn't drone enough early for sure.
And I definitely find myself in a situation where when I feel like the attacks are going well or I might have the upper hand, I don't want to say panic, but I get really excited about just, hey, I might win. And then, I really try and press the aggressiveness when maybe I should macro up because I've got a good position going.
Well, I want you to stop thinking of it. This is kind of something that I sort of discovered for myself recently. I want you to think of droning in terms of map control. Don't think of it in terms of whether or not you're ahead or behind, whether or not you can win or lose. I want you to think of it in terms of, do I have map control? Yes or no? If yes, build drones. If no, build units. Completely, it's the simplest way to think of it in the world. So when you have speedlings on the map, you have map control. You can see his army. You can threaten the counter like you did. You did some beautiful counterattacking. You're dictating the pace of the game. You have control, so you are free to drone completely. And one thing that you really did a lot of that game was just pump Zerglings instead of drones. And you used those lings and you made those lings pay for themselves, which was good. But you didn't make the drones that you needed to get through your mid game. When you were dealing with his last push, you needed to have like a 200 supply army, and you had like a 140 supply army, which just melted. So what is this guy talking about? 13 pool, 15 overlord, 20. I don't know. So what we're going to do this game, I want you to open the same way. I think your opening was great, and nothing was wrong with that. But I want you to be more focused on when you're free to drone and when you're not free to drone. And it's hardest in the early stages of the mid game. When he kind of showed you that zealot sentry push, and then you showed him the counter, and he went back. That was a scary moment. I was like, oh fuck, we're about to lose. But you did the perfect thing. You threatened the counter, and you stayed alive. You got to watch out for that. Your lings have to be able to tell you whether or not that's coming, and if you need units right there, you just have to know immediately when he's leaving. And that's one thing we didn't do. We didn't have units right outside of his base.
I was going to say, correct me if I'm wrong, but I did a poor job scouting that. That's why I was caught off guard.
Yes, that could have been handled much more better than...
I made it a point to get the towers, which normally I get yelled at for not doing, but they really didn't do me a lot of good in that position when he came right through the freaking base between us. So.
Tower control is important. If he tried to sneak a gold, you would have seen that. If he tried to run something around the base, around the map, you would have seen that. He did try to sneak a pylon in your third base, and you did catch that. And that was all part of having good vision. And you had good vision, really, really good vision, especially in comparison to how you've played previously. But it wasn't enough vision, and it wasn't vision of the right places. So.
Okay.
All right. Here we go. I'm going to sip on my cup of noodles because they're sitting right here beside me and they smell delicious.
Ramen, the breakfast of champions.
Damn Skippy, man. Damn Skippy.
Big baller like you with your coaching should be able to afford some Kraft mac and cheese and ditch the ramen there, shouldn't you?
Oh yeah, I'm making the big bucks. It's not a matter of what we can or cannot afford. It's a matter of...
Can't cook for shit.
Exactly. What I can or cannot prepare. And my girlfriend has a teapot, and it's very easy for me to boil water and pour it into the ramen cup. So...
Everybody's got their skill set, man.
Mine kind of stops at the boiling of the water. So... All right.